Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through some MLB player props I like for today, for Friday, July the 8th. We do have a full slate of games on Friday night. I think we got 15 games, so a lot of options to choose from. Right now, at the time I'm making this video on Thursday night, we just got pitcher props added to the board, and I found 3 props that I like, taking a first look at the board on Thursday night. As always, guys, we're going to talk through the 3 plays that I like for today. We will share why I like them. As always, before we get started with the breakdown, we will recap our plays from our last video, which was on Wednesday. Did not make a video for Thursday, but on Wednesday, we had a really bad day, man. Wednesday was not good. It was just a bad day in general. Really struggled with the plays we gave out on YouTube, and also did pretty poorly on Patreon as well. Had one of the worst days I've ever had since I've been doing player props. We went 0-3 on Wednesday. It was not a good day. Missed every single prop that we gave out. Thursday, I didn't make a video, but I struggled again, giving out the plays I give out on Patreon. I've just been really struggling with MLB props lately. I don't know what's been going on, if my process is wrong, if, I'm just getting unlucky. But, man, it's been so brutal these last few days. I'm ice cold right now, so I would just say, tail with caution, guys, because I've really been struggling with my MLB plays. But we missed on all 3 of our plays Wednesday, which is obviously something that, really doesn't happen too often. But we got a reverse sweep, went 0-3. Looking to bounce back, though, on Friday. Hopefully, today's the day that we finally get things going, get back on track. Again, we're going to talk through the plays I like for today. We're going to share why I like them. Before we get started, though, guys, hit that like button. As always, I appreciate the likes. Appreciate you guys checking out these videos every day. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, if you are new to Prizepicks, you can check them out. You can sign up with my promo code Noah. Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And one more thing, if these videos do help you out, if they are beneficial to you, I know we have not been doing well with our picks lately, and I know we're coming off a bad day where we went 0-3. But if you want to get more Prizepicks plays from me, I provide those on Patreon. Full transparency, been doing really poorly on Patreon as well these last few days, but I know we're going to bounce back at some point, and I'm hoping that today is the day that we finally get back on track. So if you're interested in getting more Prizepicks plays from me, I provide those on Patreon. Link down below in the description. You can check that out if you are interested. But talking through the plays that I like for Friday night's big slate, we're going to start off in the strikeout prop category. Got 2 strikeout props I like for today, and then I have a pitcher fantasy score that I like for today. So for strikeouts, first prop that really stood out to me when I first took a look at the board was Chris Bassitt, and I'm liking his over 5 strikeouts for today. I think this line is definitely too low, especially for this matchup going up against the Marlins. Now, the Marlins this season versus right-handed pitching, they have not been striking out as much versus righties compared to lefties. On the season versus righties, they're about middle of the pack, 22.3% K rate. If we numb it down to the last 30 days, I think the K rate's about similar, or it's actually a little bit higher. They're 8th in strikeout rate, 23.8%. So they actually have been striking out a little bit more lately, just kind of over the last month. But when you look at this, Marlins lineup in general, like there's not really many hitters you're scared of here, and there's definitely hitters that will strike out. Now, there's some guys like, John Birdie has a K rate only 18.8%. Joey Wendell, he's back in the lineup for the Marlins. He's a really tough guy to strike out. I would definitely prefer if Jazz Chisholm was in the lineup, because Jazz Chisholm strikes out a lot more than Joey Wendell does. Joey Wendell has just a 9% K rate. But Cooper, Aguilar, Garcia, Sanchez, Anderson, and Stallings, they all have K rates above 21%. So, there are definitely plenty of guys in this Marlins lineup that will strike out. Bassitt has been a really good strikeout pitcher this season. He's got a 25.7% K rate. He's got, he ranks 70th percentile in, K percentage. Whip percentage is about average. Like, he doesn't get a ton of, swings and misses, but he's a guy that can, put the ball where he needs to. He can, paint the corners. And he's been able to have success against this Marlins team for what it's worth. He has faced the Marlins now in back-to-back starts, so this will actually be his 3rd straight start against the Marlins. Do I factor that in? Like, is that bad for Chris Bassitt, like facing a team 3 times in a row? I don't think it's like too bad for him. I mean, so far in the last 2 games he's faced Miami, he had 9 strikeouts and 6 1/3 innings, and then in his last start against Miami, he went 7 innings and had 5 strikeouts. I guess it is worth noting that this will be Chris Bassitt's first start back from COVID. He did test positive for COVID, and I think he was out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. But it doesn't seem like he's going to be limited. Like, I was looking for any type of report on a pitch count, like a limit for him, and there was no report of him being limited or on any sort of pitch count. So I'm thinking he's good to go. He should throw, probably 100 pitchers here. He's had a pretty good pitch count so far this season. He's usually able to pitch pretty deep into games. He's a good strikeout pitcher. I think this is a pretty favorable strikeout matchup against Miami. And another thing, one more thing I want to note is that Chris Bassett's K prop on DraftKings, it opened up at over 4.5, and it's minus 205. Over 4.5 strikeouts for Chris Bassett right now on DraftKings Sportsbook is minus 205. So there is some heavy juice coming in on his over strikeouts. Obviously on Prizepicks, his line's at 5, but on Prizepicks you don't have to worry about juice. We can take this at 5. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Bassett's K prop on Prizepicks gets bumped up to 5.5. Honestly, when I saw it at 5, I thought that was just too good to take, or too good not to take, I should say. I feel like worst case scenario, Bassett can get us 5 Ks and he can push. I'd be really surprised if he gets less than 5 Ks against this Marlins team. So that's the first prop that I like for today, over 5 strikeouts for Chris Bassett. And then our second prop going to be going down to one of the late night games. I'm taking over 5.5 strikeouts for Blake Snell. Now Blake Snell is a very frustrating player to bet on. He's a guy that can sometimes just get wild with his pitches. He walks a lot of batters. His command can sometimes be off, but he can strike guys out. And we have seen Blake Snell pretty consistently be able to have a pretty high K rate. I mean, you look just throughout his career in the majors since 2016. He's had at least a 20% K rate in every season. I mean, over like his last 5 seasons, he's had a K rate above 30%. Now, his strikeout rate this year is not that high. It's at 27.9%. But Snell is still a really good strikeout pitcher. He can get guys to swing and miss. And it is worth noting that he's coming off one of his best start of the seasons in a tough matchup against the Dodgers. Blake Snell went 5 innings and had 12 strikeouts. I'm pretty sure that was a career high for him, or I think it was close to it. Had 12 strikeouts against the Dodgers. And this matchup against the Giants is one where you can get strikeouts. If you look at where the Giants rank versus left-handed pitching this season, they're top 10, 23.3% K rate, which is tied for Seattle in terms of strikeout rate versus lefties. And I think even over their last 30 days, I think their strikeout rate's even higher. Over the last 30 days, they are, they're right about where they were, 24.3% K rate, which is 11th over the last 30 days. Take a look at last 14 days, so the last 2 weeks, the Giants are, they're a little bit down there, 21.6%. But in general, when you look at this Giants lineup and you look at where they rank versus lefties this year, I mean, they're top 10 in terms of strikeout rate versus left-handed pitching. And we can take a look at their lineup individually, kind of look through all these hitters. There are guys in this lineup that have, pretty high K rates. I mean, Austin Slater, if he's in the lineup, which he should be against a lefty, 30% strikeout rate this season. Jock Peterson, I don't know if he'll be in the lineup versus a lefty, but he's got a 30% K rate. Darren Ruff, 24% K rate. Yastrzemski, if he's in the lineup, he's got a K rate almost at 30%. VR, 25% K rate. Wins, 22% K rate. Like, really the only guys that don't strike out much are Wilmer Flores, Mercedes, and Brandon Crawford. Everyone else has, a K rate above 20%, and there's a couple of guys with K rates above 30%. And obviously Blake Snell is a guy that, can get strikeouts. He's got a 28% K rate this year. He gets a lot of swings and misses. He's a guy that, his command will sometimes get off. He'll definitely walk batters. He might give up some runs here, but I think Blake Snell can get us 6 strikeouts. He's been able to do that more times than not this season. He's made 8 starts so far this year, and Snell has at least 6 strikeouts in 4 out of those 8 starts. Every other start he had 5 Ks against the Phillies in only 3 2/3 innings. He had 4 Ks against the Mets and a team that doesn't strike out much. Tough matchup on the road in Coors Field against the Rockies, got 5 strikeouts, and then against the Phillies he got 4 Ks. But yeah, he's had at least 6 Ks in 4 out of 8 starts this season. I think this is a matchup going up against a Giants team that does rank top 10 in K rate this year versus lefties. This is a spot where we can get 6 strikeouts from Blake Snell. So I like his over 5.5 Ks as our second prop for today. And then our third and final prop, going to be going to pitcher fantasy score. Really like this one. This is definitely one of my favorite props that stood out at first look. Taking the over 24.5 pitcher fantasy score for Aaron Ashby today. I was also looking at his over 5 strikeouts. If you want to play that, I think that's fine as well. I think that's another prop that looks pretty good. But I have a feeling that if Ashby gets 5 or 6 strikeouts, that he's probably going to go over his fantasy score as well. I would be very surprised if he doesn't. And especially, in this matchup against the Pirates, this is a spot where you would not expect Ashby to struggle. Now, it is worth noting that he is coming off a start against the Pirates where he did kind of struggle. Went through 3 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, had 6 strikeouts, but did give up 4 runs. I don't expect Ashby to give up 4 runs again to the Pirates. I mean, Ashby has been a really good pitcher this season. You look at where he ranks on Baseball Savant, his metrics, all of his metrics are good. The one thing that he struggles with is walks. He does have a pretty high walk rate, 10.4% walk rate. So, sometimes his command can get off. Sometimes he can let guys get on base, which could lead to long innings, could lead to, runs. He winds up giving up. I think that's kind of what happened in his last start against Pittsburgh. But the matchup's just so good to not like attack here. I mean, Pittsburgh this season versus lefties, second highest K rate in the league, 25.7%. And offensively, this is not a good lineup. I mean, they're bottom 10 in pretty much every offensive category. Batting average, they rank 26th. On-base percentage, Pittsburgh's dead last in on-base percentage versus lefties this year. In terms of slugging, Pittsburgh's bottom 10 in that category as well. OPS, they're bottom 10 in OPS. They are, I believe, bottom 10 in ISO. They're actually middle of the pack in ISO, but WRC plus, Pittsburgh ranks 28th. Like, it's just not a good offense. It's also a team that strikes out a lot versus lefties. It's a really, really good matchup here for Ashby. I think he should be able to dominate against this Pittsburgh team. He's a really, really good pitcher, and this 24.5 fantasy score is just way too low for him. He has shown sometimes that this season where, sometimes his command will get off and he'll let guys on base, he'll give up some runs. But when he's rolling, like, Ashby has massive upside. I want to say there was one game this year, it was against the Cubs. On May 30th, he pitched 6 innings, only gave up 5 hits, 2 walks, had 12 strikeouts. Like, he has shown some big-time upside. He had 9 strikeouts against the Padres. Even last start against Pittsburgh, where he gave up 4 runs, he did still get 6 strikeouts. And I guess it is worth noting that in his last start against Pittsburgh, he got 6 strikeouts. He went over his K prop, but did not go over his fantasy score. But again, he gave up 4 runs last start. I don't see Ashby giving up 4 runs again to this bad Pittsburgh lineup. I think he'll be able to dial it in here. So I like his over 24.5 fantasy score. I also like over 5 strikeouts, but for the sake of this video, we're going to take his over in fantasy score for today. So these are 3 props that I'm liking for Friday night, guys. Chris Bassett over 5 strikeouts. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that line moves by the time you're watching this video or by the time you're able to get your entry in. Over 5.5 strikeouts for Blake Snell, and then over 24.5 fantasy score for Aaron Ashby. Feel good about these 3 plays. I'm hoping that, tonight can be the night we finally bounce back. We have been struggling lately, or at least I've been really struggling with my MLB props. Last 2 days have been brutal for me. But I'm hoping that today's the day we bounce back, get a clean sweep tonight. Hopefully the plays I give it on Patreon. Again, I'll take a look at the board on Friday once again, find some more plays I like. I'll share those over on Patreon. I'm hoping we'll be able to lock in with those as well, get some wins on Patreon too for all the Patreon members. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Check out these videos. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, check out Prizepicks as well. If you're new to Prizepicks, you have not signed up over there, get over there, sign up, use promo code NOAH, get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And again, one more thing, if you want to get access to my additional Prizepicks plays, more plays that I like for today, you can check those out on Patreon, link down below in the description if that is something that does interest you. But good luck today, guys. Thanks as always for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.